Hey everyone, it is DirectingPete here with another great tutorial. Guys, if you could go ahead and hit that like button, helps this video so much, and we get the message out there, which is exactly what we want to do. We want to show people how to make cool stuff. Also, subscribe to me if you think I'm doing a good job. You can always change your mind later. Guys, let's go ahead and do interior design. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to build a small room, and so hopefully by the end of this you're going to have a good understanding of how to create interiors and make them feel good. So I'm going to do a couple different things here. You can get inspiration by looking at prefabs, so that's actually something I really encourage you to do, guys. Go through the prefab gallery. So just going through here, maybe you want to do a princess castle. I mean, you don't really know, but a lot of this, guys, you can get inspired by when you just place stuff down. There's no shame in this, right? There's no shame in just looking, right? We're not going to copy. We're not stealing, because if you just use a prefab, then yeah, it's not as good, right? It's not going to be as good as it could be. And here's a beautiful example of a small room. They did this small little room with some tables and chairs. So we're getting inspiration. You go over here. This is more open. I would say this is a larger room, and yeah, it's a plane, it's a hangar for a plane. So then you can go over here to the cabin. You could see they've done like a studio apartment type thing in here. Bad choice for a bed. I would have chosen a different bed. But once again, you're not taking their ideas, you're just looking at them. The castle gallery, very underrated, guys. I actually don't see this get used a whole lot, and it's actually really beautiful. Like, this is a cute little room, but nothing's too crazy. Now, let's take that information that we learned and let's make our own room. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to galleries. Let's say, this is underrated and not used a lot. We're gonna go to the Princess Gallery. Basically you can go through here, look at the floors, look at everything they have to offer. They have some, a little more limited in this gallery, but you also, that's another huge thing about design. You do not need to stick with galleries. You could move around and use different galleries for different things. You can use what's in here, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a really, really small entryway here. I'm going to create something that I think you're all really going to like. I'm actually doing this on the fly. I have not actually pre-planned any of this. I've been doing so much design work lately that I think that I'm starting to get better at quick builds. So I'm hoping that you watching this, you're also going to get inspired. You can also reconsider anything. So you can go through, you know what, I didn't like that. I did like that. Now, here, we're doing interior design work. We're starting with really small. I would consider this very small. We're in a 1x1 here, and we need a little something on top here. So guys, as you're watching me build, it's really paying attention to what is in your inventory here and using it wisely. Just seeing, what can I use out of here? What can really make this pop? How do I elevate my builds? And look, I mean, just in the course of me talking about this, I have deleted and restarted my build over and over again. And that's because you have to find what works. So like, that was the wrong wall, so I didn't like that. But we have this roof piece here that I'm just using, and all right, so we got a hut. We got something going here. First glance, it's kind of ugly. I'm not gonna lie here, it's kind of ugly. But that's the point. You can't be nervous the moment you do something and go, oh, that's ugly. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I've done a great job with the build here. I'm gonna go through the castle elements and see what we can do to brighten the place up. Now, lighting for me is super important. What I'm gonna do is kind of like maybe a little reading nook. Now, obviously this could be a standalone thing, or you could, add it to a bigger room. But look at that little chair there. It seemed like it was going to take up a ton of room, but it actually didn't. And then you can do, if they're reading or something, do a little thing here. And, it's all about moving stuff around too. Like, Your first placement may not be good. I do a lot of grid snap 32 if you notice. Grid snap 32 all the way. If you have a little chair, you will probably want an end table. And then you'll realize, wait a minute, this chair and end table don't look really good. So you may delete that end table. And if you notice, there's more than one end table. So I have options, guys. I don't need to commit to the one end table. And I'm noticing something here I don't like. This chair is actually too small. So I'm gonna resize it a bit, right? Not by much, but you can do this, guys. You don't have to be restricted by the sizing that Epic gives you. Like, I think this table was a little too big. So I just shrunk it down a bit. And you're gonna just keep moving stuff around. And that is perfectly normal. That is how we figure out what we like. Now, in reality, if this candle was here next to this person, I think it's too close to their head. These are the kind of things I think about. You don't have to be that detailed. I am just very detail oriented. So, you know, this chandelier obviously won't work. It's too big. Could you shrink it? Sure. But even shrunk down, I think it would still be just a little too big. So you have to just look around and figure out what works, what doesn't. In this case, I'm thinking wall sconces might actually work best. This is for sure. And then I look at it because I've never actually used this prop before in my life until this video. And that's what I'm saying there. Then I go against the wall and see, is it against the wall? And, you know, can I break the rule and put it into the wall a little bit? And the answer seems to be, yeah. So it works. You can actually put it in the wall. You know, and there's those rules can be broken sometimes based on if it just works or not. I'm gonna raise it a little bit and I'm gonna get that back into the wall a little bit. And you notice I'm still doing a lot of grid snap 32, guys. You don't always have to use grid snap 32, but when you're in these small places like this, that grid snap is so important. So, you know, you just wanna keep looking around, seeing what can I add to make this a cool environment. Now, to me, I feel like I'm kind of doing a book theme a little bit, or at least like a sitting area. So I'm gonna keep looking around for props in this gallery that might be suitable for what I want. Or maybe they're having a little spot of tea. So you come here, drop the teacup, right? Maybe it's tea and food. Maybe they're just eating a little meal on their table there, and boy, is that too big. So you just move it around and look, this is what happens all the time, guys. You may put stuff on this table and go, all right, now it just looks like somebody's chilling here, doing something, they're eating, they're on their chair. And look, we're gonna just keep going with this and playing around and seeing what we got. But this is how you get creative. This is where the juices come from. I still think I'm gonna bring this candle back, put it in this corner. Now this is where I may actually go to like a grid snap 8. Now I've noticed, symmetry speaking, I do rotate things so things don't feel too symmetrical. I like that for certain things. So now as we enter this small space, if you're noticing, it's starting to just feel a little bit more like a home. Maybe this guy's creepy. Maybe he has something in a cage and he's watching it. You could have it where this person is literally like watching a gnome. So before we put the gnome in there, because it's a different gallery, and then, you know, you can do stuff where right here, and yeah, this is a little exterior, but basically it's kind of all the same thing because you're bringing people into your environment, right? And so it's important to kind of address everything at once. And look, sometimes I'll even use grid snap off and I'll just freestyle it like this. I think this is a good freestyle. You go into the wall, come out a little bit. Great. Now, when you have vines like this, it's usually good to connect them to the ground, even if it goes under the mat. Now, granted, you know, if you put some grass down or something, this would look better, but you get the idea at this point, and there you have it. So we have this overgrown area, and the reason I bring it up is does some of the interior too. We don't have to completely stay within using one gallery, and we'll look at that. You can even do something like this where there's like a crest in the wall. So maybe make it a little bigger, something like that. And it's just these little tiny details, but look at that. I mean, that is changing the way we look at this room. Now, I am just doing this for a small interior right now. If you like this kind of video, if it performs well, I'll do a medium room next. And then after that, I'll do a large room. So another cool thing that you can do here, just search by prop. So you can go up here, search by prop, and that way you're just looking at props, nothing else. And you can really kind of go through and make sure you have everything you want. Now, because we chose such an incredibly detailed princess type theme, you could probably use something from like outdoor residential gallery. We can do some of these pots, right? Come in here, maybe go with a different color. And you're probably like, well, why would there be pots in here? Who knows, guys? I mean, that's what makes this so fun though, is like, it's all up to your imagination. Like, you get to create this stuff. It's all in your imagination. You get to create this fun world. And once again, guys, this is to show you don't have to stick within one gallery. So maybe you do like this kind of chandelier here. I'm going to a grid snap of 2, paste that up there. And I shrunk that down as much as it will go. And you'll see it kind of just completes it. Maybe that comes down too low for you. You can always change it. There's so many options. And guys, not everything you do is going to work out. That, once again, I need to drive that home. So like I added in this little spotlight. Once again, I think we're going a little creepy here, but look at that. The lighting kind of makes it cool. And I'm gonna just aim it a little bit more towards this cage because I'm having fun with just the idea of there's this sinister guy eating, kind of on watch, watching the gnome in the cage. Speaking of gnome, let's just grab that gnome now and have fun with this. You could resize him a bit and you got yourself a little gnome trapped in a cage, little red light on him to make it just that much more weird. Rotate is important, guys. Otherwise, putting two of these next to each other just doesn't make sense. And then finally, I wanted to go back into the Princess Gallery real quick and look for one more table, trying to figure out where I want to put it. Whole different story. Things don't need to match or be perfectly even. And then the reason I created that is there was a prop I was eyeing, and then we can go through here and get maybe this guy. And there you have it, guys. We have this cool little area where, and like I said, guys, you'll go back and you'll look at things and go, you know what? That doesn't work, or that needs to be pushed in more. There's too many of this or that, or whatever. So, you know, here you go. You have this cool little whatever storyline. We'll make up a storyline right now. So, you know, this guy's on watch. This is actually a good gnome right here. And this guy's bad, but he thinks he's fighting for good. And he's holding this guy up in the castle, and he's being fed all this food, which is actually making him delusional and thinking that he's fighting for good when actually he's holding the good guys hostage. So that's my storyline, super random. But guys, there you go. I really, really enjoy making tutorials that help you out. So let me know in the comments below what you'd like me to create for you. I will be doing a medium-sized room next if you like this tutorial. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and until next time.